Testing, 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 testing. Alright, perfect, we're good. Sorry about that, team. I don't know what just happened. My internet crashed while I was, we're almost done here. But, I'll give everybody a minute or two to join again. Hopefully we could get everybody back. What's good, Albert? Alright, so like I was explaining with oil, right? So oil gave us a change of character, lower low, lower high. It gave us a break of structure, lower low, lower high. Retest of the 15-minute engulfing, that was the trade. Price came down, filled that 30-minute gap that we had in the market, straight to TP. It's a very simple trade. Again, all the trades I've taken, all the trades I take follow the same formula. The same thing every single time. There's nothing new. Nothing has changed. It's all the same thing. I feel like I didn't even... Did I go over EuroCAD? I did, right? I spoke about the valid break on EuroCAD and what I'm looking for. I think I did do that. It's a big 30-minute line. We use this one. So we're trading now between this 30-minute high over here and these 30-minute lows over here. So oil's good. Right? I almost panicked. It's all good. I did it. What'd you do? Oh, you were the one who fucked up my internet? That's not nice, man. And then UJ, I know Emmanuel, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but UJ is pretty much very similar to GJ. Very, very, very similar. We're looking for price to give us a valid break of these highs, which we ended up getting. We're trading at a higher high. Price still has that gap at the bottom of the market. So we know that we're trading at a higher high, just looking for price to give us a higher low. And on the 30-minute structure, we know that we were trading, let's see, let's go back real quick. Low, lower, high, lower, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, lower, low, change of character, higher, high. And then price gave us higher, high. Right, we'll say change of character, lower, low. So this is one where UJ has not given us a valid break of the lows just yet in comparison to GJ. But it did give us a change of character. So UJ is very similar to what we went over on GJ. It's very, very similar. So we'll be patient with both of those pairs. So pretty much for today, guys, again, for my watch list, there's not a lot. What we were looking for the gaps, 99% of these pairs already filled the gaps that we were looking for. Let's go through these one by one. You know, the other pairs that we were looking for valid breaks to be given, we still don't have any valid breaks. You know, again, US30 could be one on the watch list, but is not one that I'm expecting. You know, very similar to gold, right? Even though we have a bearish engulfing candle on gold, it's not an area where I'm looking for. Price is still trending up to the top side. Price is still making higher highs and higher lows, so I can't be looking for short positions when price is still on an uptrend. Let's see, was there another pair that we talked about real quick? I'm gonna go through these. My internet's still very slow, so let's see. Right, GJ again, like I said, even though we have the change and the break, I don't like the fact that we're on the 800 EMA. Price respected the 800, so this is still a low probability trade for me. GCAT already gave us that third day push. GA, we were looking for a valid break of the highs, which we didn't get, so there's really no trades there for me just yet on GA. You know, EU, we're still on a downtrend, so I'm not really that interested. ECAD, I'm looking for a valid break of these highs on the 5-minute time frame, and it looks like price wants to give it to us. So ECAD is really the only one on the watch list that looks decent to continue to trade it. These other pairs, currently, I'm not really interested. So that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions, let me know. Any other pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. Any questions at all? If not, then we'll be done for the night, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session. I just checked my Discord. Yo, Albert was freaking out. Like, yo, you good? Nah, bro, my house blew up. Yo, that's funny. You funny, Albert. He said I almost panicked. Nah, you did panic. Yeah, yo, this guy's stream just fucking crashed all of a sudden. I'll give you guys another minute and a half in the chat. Any questions at all? Anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything else you guys want me to go in detail with? Let me know. AU pairs and EU pairs, what about them? Potential entries? Um, for the gaps, I mean, AU doesn't have a gap anymore. ACAD doesn't have a gap anymore. EA doesn't have a gap anymore. ECAD doesn't have a gap anymore. Oh yeah, ECAD still has that gap, right? So yeah, ECAD is the one, right? This is one on our watch list for tonight for sure. EU still has that gap at the top as well, right? Yes, EU's on my watch list, but not for the day. EU's on my watch list for the week. Right, again, and what I'm looking for is essentially what I'm looking for EU is for price to start giving me the higher highs and higher lows on the 30-minute time frame. That's pretty much it. To be honest, I don't think there's any other pairs. We'll go through these again one by one, but all the other pairs that we were looking for the gaps, those have already been filled. I think ECAD and EU were the only two that had it. GJ, right? GJ still has this gap at the bottom, but once again, I'm looking for price to give me the break. So, will this be on my watch list for tomorrow? No, because price, by the time we already hit the break of structure of these lows and we get a break of the 800, STP would be hit. So, GJ is not on my watch list for tomorrow, for tonight, but it's on my watch list for the week. I think that's it. US 30 filled the gap up already. I don't believe we have any other gaps at the top on US 30. Did my internet crash again? No, we're good. Right, 30 still has these gaps at the bottom, but these gaps at the bottom at this point, I'll be looking for a valid change and break on every single time frame. Again, USD CAD could be a good one too. USD CAD is definitely one I'm gonna keep an eye on for the watch list for tomorrow. So GJ, USD CAD, and Euro CAD are pretty much the top 3 contenders for tomorrow. And then you could already see again, like similar to this engulfing candle here, right? Again, like how can I get into a bearish engulfing candle entry when price is still higher high and higher low on every single time frame besides obviously the internal, right? Because when price gives you a higher high into a higher low, the higher low push is a downtrend push, but that downtrend push is internally, right? Gave you push 1, push 2, gave you an inducement of push number 3, and went right back to the top side, gave you a higher low on the 4-hour time frame, back up into the higher high. Higher high, higher low, right? So it's like I cannot look for a sell position in these engulfing candles, when price is still making higher highs and higher lows. It doesn't make any sense, right? And there's really nothing else for Bitcoin, and then for oil, at this point we're already at the daily lows. We're already reaching our 4-hour lows. Could we look for continuations? Absolutely, but at this point, what I'll be looking for on oil is now either a steeper pullback to continue, or I'll be looking for price to give us a break of these lows to then continue these downtrend pushes. So for right now on oil, I'm hands off on US oil until we either get a steeper pullback or until we get price to give us a break of the lows. Can we go over the 372 and when we should expect the 4th day? Yeah, so like for example, on US 30, was it? No, which pair gave us the 3rd day? Because that's a good question, because I know that was one of your questions that you had asked me in the Discord. And I'll show you. That happened today for one of these pairs. I just don't remember which one. Dun 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 dun. I don't know why this shit is so slow. Okay, GCAD. Right? GCAD, we had 3 days of rise. Right? On the 3rd day, which was today, price gave us a 3rd day push, but then finished on a no net. So GCAD is one pair that we could mark it up as a 4th day variation. Right? But on top of what we see on the 30-minute time frame, I'm also keeping an eye on the fact of where we're at overall. And the fact that we're trading still at these highs, where price has rejected these highs before and again didn't give us a valid break just yet, for me already, even though we could already see that price is pushing up, right? This 4th day variation, these trades back to the top side for me are still low probability. But this is, again, just removing the entry part of it and just looking at how you're supposed to market, right? Again, do not get confused with how you mark your charts to when you're looking for an entry. So just to answer the question on the baseline of what you're looking for, of how a rise no net or a drop no net or a 4th day variation is supposed to look like, GCAD is a prime example of that, right? We know GCAD is still on an uptrend. So I'm only going to be looking for the 4th day variations when price is uptrending. So for example, if GCAD gives you a drop, 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 no net, I'm not going to mark it as a drop, no net because that's counter trend. But when you're with the trend and you have a day of rise, 2 days of rise, and on the 3rd day gives you a rise no net, right, or a rise drop, then that's when we could be expecting a 4th day variation back to the top side. I hope that makes sense. This GCAD is a perfect example of that question that you had in the Discord in the beginning of the week. You had 2 days of rise. On the 3rd day, it gave you the 3rd day push, and then it ended on a no net at the end of the day. Right? It went up, came down, came back up, and it closed exactly where the market opened in the exact same day. Let me know if that made sense, Albert. Because it tapped into those daily and 4-hour lows? Yep. For oil. It hasn't tapped into the 4-hour low just yet. But it tapped into the daily. Right? And then when we're looking at the 3 pushes, right? The 3 pushes were already given. Right? We have push 1, push 2, push number 3. Yes, bro, it's crystal clear. Thank you. No problem, Mr. Albert. That's pretty much it, guys. Any other questions? Anything else you guys want me to explain? Anything else you guys want me to break down? Let me know. Any other specific pairs you want to go over real quick before we go offline? Let me know. If not, we'll be back tomorrow morning. Again, we haven't had a stream in the morning just yet for this week. Everything has been moving during Asia and London sessions, so it's very unfortunate. But again, we'll be back tomorrow. If there is anything left on the table for us tomorrow morning, we'll turn the stream on. We'll have a good session, and then we'll take it from there. So, thanks, good sir. No problem, Mr. Sir. I'm hungry as fuck, Gangy. I don't know what I want to eat, man. Enjoy your night. Thank you, Kendall. You too, my brother. Good night, bro. Good night, Albert. We'll see you tomorrow. Alright, guys. Peace out. Once again, for the people watching the recording, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And we'll be back again tomorrow morning. Peace out.